She is leading this Hawkeye basketball team on the glass as well from the point guard spot.
That's why she is one of the candidates for National Player of the Year. You combine her on the outside with Monica Czinano on the inside. Iowa's dangerous.
Iowa is, but Czinano's going to be important. Going to have to run the floor, especially against this full court press of Ohio State.
Ohio State controls the tip. Into the hands of Ricky Harris it goes, and here comes number 2, the Buckeyes.
Iowa in the man-to-man defense. Gonna gap it, try to take away driving lanes.
Cody McMahon with the first shot. It's off. She's getting the rebound and putting it back up in the hands of Taylor Thierry.
Immediately, Ohio State in that full court press.
We'll expect to see this press all night from Ohio State after a made basket. The Iowa starting 5, it's going to look a little bit different. Molly Davis in the starting lineup. McKenna Warnock was injured in the Michigan State game. She's unavailable today. They go inside to Czinano. Off on the layup and into the hands of Ohio State.
That's the matchup that I'm looking forward to inside. Czinano going against Mikola Shakova.
Ricky Harris finishing through contact.
Okay, I've seen the big girls give the too small sign. Ricky Harris did that from the guard position.
Okay, look, she plays 1, 2, 3, and 4 for Ohio State.
She does it all.
Cody McMahon, the 1-2 short on the shot in the hands of Caitlin Clark. And Clark's going to be fouled by Cody McMahon. Lisa Bluter gathered her team up at shoot-around. They sat in a circle, and she said, look, we have the chance to take down the number 2 team on their home floor. How fun is that?
Did you see how excited the team got when she
yeah.
said they were like ready? You looked at me, you were like, I'm ready.
Yeah, she said, look, we just have to go out there and be us. That's how we can get it done tonight. Molly Davis lost it. They'll swing it over to Gabby Marshall in the corner.
Gabby Marshall locked back in at the three-point line, shoot the ball very well as of late.
Rebecca Mikulashikova, and it's a travel call going up against Czinano. Kevin McGuff, he didn't put together an easy schedule. They started the season against Tennessee, and he said, look, we're going to try to go a little more physical, put some younger players in there, and guess what? It's worked for the last 19 games.
Oh, I got a freshman in Cody McMahon, and then Taylor Thierry, the sophomore, saw the athleticism and the advantage they had.
You can count the bucket for McMahon.
That athleticism, that's what has brought Cody McMahon in the starting lineup. She's so strong. McMahon, Cody McMahon, but she is so strong in attacking the basket. She has the focus and the finish. They talk about her work ethic in practice, and she said, that's just how I've been trained, and that's now become her habit.
She completes the three-point play. And as long as Ohio State is scoring, you're gonna see that pressure.
And having Taylor Thierry at the top. And what's impressive to me is how Ohio State can play this way and do it for 40 minutes. Their conditioning is unbelievable.
Yeah, they press on 45% of opponents' possessions. Here's Thierry. The kick out to McMahon. For the deep ball, bounces out, and the rebound by Caitlin Clark. Clark just one shot attempt early in this game, driving and kicking to her counterpart, Monica Czinano. McMahon down low, she's double teamed, turns into the double team and finishes through contact.
Offense is really right now running through Cody McMahon.
Now, Kevin McGuff told us Cody McMahon, Taylor Thierry, they got in the starting lineup because they needed some physicality to start the season against Tennessee, and they've stayed there.
We look at how Cody McMahon is built. She's strong. She came in early last season, so her body is college ready.
Yeah, enrolled last January, so it's been about a year for that true freshman with the Ohio State program.
Watch Caitlin Clark as she's coming down in transition. When she crosses half court, she recognizes that she has Theory beat, and then if she gets to the basket, then Mikulashikova is going to rotate over, and that set up Czinano.
Monika Czinano already 4 points, 2 of 3 from the field. That's going to get lost and kicked out of play by Sydney Fulter.
This press is deceptive. You're going to see open gaps when you first initially have the ball, but if you try to make a hero pass, Ohio State's going to make you pay.
Ricky Harris to inbound. She does to Mikesell, who immediately lets it fly. It'll be short, just off the front of the iron. Look at the hustle from McMahon trying to save it, but into the hands of a Fulter. Kate Martin stripped. And possession arrow pointing to Iowa.
Coty McMahon, we talk about how hard she practices. She carries it on to the court. Just the second effort to save that.
Clark with the basketball, guarded by Theory. She'll pull it out, gets the screen from Czinano. Skip pass. And it's swatted away by Ricky Harris, but back to Iowa. Czinano, what a bucket!
Monika Czinano looks like a different player to me this season compared to last. Really made a commitment to her fitness. She said a lot of that has to do with her maturity and understanding what she needed to do to be better. Look at her. Really put on muscle, got lean.
With a sweet shot from Taylor Mikesell. And Monika Czinano, she was already an All-American last season, but now averaging 17.9 points per game this season. Last year she did average a little bit more, 21 points per game. Caitlin Clark firing her second shot, it won't go. Mikulashikova with it. And you talk about Monika Czinano and her transformation. She transformed 15 pounds into muscle, and so that's made a big difference from her. Look at her last year in the yellow jersey compared to now in the white.
I asked her, I said, how did you do it? And she said, I like to learn, and I learned about fitness, I learned about training, I learned about what I was putting in my body. And she said, after getting in this good a shape, she said, my knees don't hurt as bad.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to get that routine.
She's like, as I get older, I'm like, how old are you?
23.
Yeah. Clark driving and kicking. She's so good at finding her teammates. That shot won't fall in, though, from a Fulter. Yeah, that's going to be a foul on Sydney Fulter, her second. Close one early on, just what we expected. Two of the top teams in the Big Ten.
Where she's off balance or a little bit risky. You do that at the end of the shot clock, but not in the early ones.
Look, she hasn't scored yet tonight, but she has 3 assists already, and Iowa has 5 assists on 5 made field goals. So she makes things happen even if the ball's not going through the hoop.
Well, she's the brains on the floor for the other 4 players on the floor. So you watch Caitlin Clark survey the situation as she's coming down, recognizing is it her time or who else can she set up? Watch her eyes. She surveys and makes a quick decision of where she needs to get the ball.
And she needs to get it inside to Monika Czinano. 6 points already for Czinano, make it 8, 4 of 5 from the field. Now, last game, she was 11 for 11.
Was that perfect?
It was pretty good. That is perfect.
Now I was in a 2-3 zone, changed up things defensively.
Mikulashikova from range. That's something she's added to her game.
Yeah, Mikulashikova, in being the ability to shoot the 3, she's been able to shoot it from out there, but she also now is a threat, putting it on the deck, and she has attacked the rim. Watch the two bigs inside. This is where the battle is going to be.
And right now, Czinano winning it inside. That's 10 paint points for Iowa.
How high the offense is having to run against this zone.
How does that change the offense?
Well, offensively, you've got to attack off the perimeter, not just settle for threes.
There's the first points for Caitlin Clark.
Well, see, Clark has established herself early in this game. Okay, I'm going to distribute, right? So now nobody's helping off, and then Clark recognizes, you didn't come get me? I'm going all the way to the rim.
Theory left by herself. They'll go back to Mikulashikova. This time it won't go in. Rebound by Czinano. Molly Davis. Rebound into the hands of Heaven Bristow, and she brings it up the floor for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, against the zone, that's where you have to get the basketball in that logo Big Ten area.
And finish it! Mikulashikova getting herself to the free throw line.
Mikulashikova flashed in the middle of the zone again, one-on-one. Nobody's helping, and she's able to finish and get to the free throw line.
And that's the first foul on Monika Czinano. She fouled out of their last game with 2 minutes left. Mikulashikova, look at her development over the years. She's added to her scoring. We talked about being more consistent with the three-point shot too.
Well, and her evolution of her game has come about because she's gotten herself in great shape, able to run the floor more, get up and down, score in transition, as well as knock down those three-point shots.
You know, it helps too if she's hitting shots early. That confidence soars.
100%.
Kate Martin dumping it off to the freshman, Hannah Stolke.
Stolke's able to come in now, play the middle of the zone, give some minutes to Czinano.
Turnover forced by Iowa. Clark by herself. All the way across the court to Marshall. And that's going to be Ohio State ball. And Hannah Stolke, they're going to need her today. Again, no McKenna Warnock, so the minute's going to have to distribute a little bit. And Lisa Bluder told us, you know, without McKenna on the floor, we lose that blue-collared kid, that toughness plays.
Well, and also, Warnock could shoot the three.
Yeah.
So that's another perimeter scorer that Iowa's playing without.
And a shoemate feeding Rebecca. No foul call, just working her way past Hannah Stolke.
You're going to see some terrific footwork from the postgame of both teams having.
Caitlin Clark! From deep. Nothing new if you've watched her play before.
I was going to say.
That's not even that deep for her.
She shoots 37% from the three-point line.
I'd say the three-point line, too, is a loose term. It's anywhere.
Well,
past that.
36% when she walks in the gym.
Yes, from the moon.
Right. Look how far back she was from the three-point line.
So yesterday, too, was a big day for Caitlin Clark. It was her birthday.
You know what I loved about shoot-around? She came over.
Oh, gosh.
She said,
look at her cake.
We're birthday twins.
Yeah, I need to apologize, too, because look at that cake, and then what I got you.
It was fantastic.
It was not the same.
Let me take Bob. But it was red velvet.
That's your favorite.
Yeah.
Your birthday was also yesterday.
It was a great day. January 22nd, that should be a national holiday. For me and Caitlin Clark, CC and Company. Yeah.
Clark taking her time here. She's got 5 points, 2 rebounds, and already 5 assists. working to get her a shot a little bit off to the left. Ohio State can take the last shot of the quarter.
I'm a little surprised that Iowa didn't take a quick shot and go 2 for 1.
Mikesell milking it. Here she goes. Coming off the screen from McMahon. The three! Almost off of 1 foot, too. Mikesell just heaves it up in the basket.
Number 5 in the country with made threes per game. Into the shot clock. What does Ohio State order up? But a 3 from Taylor Mikesell. There'll be more of that to come. To what we see with Caitlin Clark, but Kelsey Mitchell, fantastic player to watch in the Big Ten.
It's so cool to see what the WNBA is doing, taking notable alumni and putting them back in their universities for a game. She told us, man, I kind of feel a little homesick. I want to play on this floor.
Well, I think she's looking, too, at the record of this Ohio State team being undefeated. Yeah, you'd want to come back and be part of this.
Yeah. We got a pretty good first quarter. Both teams shooting over 50% from the field. Very limited turnovers. Iowa only had 2 turnovers. We were wondering because we knew Ohio State was going to press.
Well, Iowa was 100%, 2 for 2 when they break the press and go straight in to score. When they go in the half court, they were 2 for 4.
Just a second miss today from Monika Czinano. She's got 10 points already. And then the answer on the other end, Cotie McMahon, the freshman.
She's got to be the leading candidate front runner for Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
And Caitlin Clark is going to be fouled heading in. She's fouled by Taylor Thierry.
I think Thierry was called on that foul. It was the inside hand, that left arm that was making contact, not the block.
Caitlin Clark, she got to 2,000 points almost quicker than anyone. Elena Delle Donne tied right there in 75 games with her.
Right, and she surpassed Kelsey Mitchell, who was here. It took Kelsey 79 games.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark's number is incredible. 2-time All-American. She has 7 career triple-doubles. That's tied for 4th in D1 history. 2 of those have been this season against Minnesota and Nebraska. The tough defense coming in off the bench from Ebony Walker.
Walker gives up, but Czinano has a size advantage over Walker, but Walker was using her body, her size, to push Czinano off the block.
So Mikulashikova got a quick breather, and she's back in the game for Ohio State, number 23 in white. Taylor Mikesell hit a 3 at the buzzer at the end of the first quarter. She's got 5. Ricky Harris. Rebound by Marshall.
Iowa immediately, and they go in transition. Find number 22.
McMahon's going to push. All by herself, but can't finish the layup. Clark does the same, back the other way. Around Mikulashikova.
I don't know if Ohio State wants this to be an up and down game, because when you've got the decision making of Caitlin Clark in transition, that's really going to make Iowa hard to guard.
It's going to be a help ball. It's going to be a possession arrow to Iowa.
Watch Clark, as soon as she gets it, heads the other direction. And when she gets low and full speed, she just blows by the defense.
Okay. Caitlin Clark went over to her bench, wanted a water bottle. They threw a water bottle, and she went to go squirt it in her mouth. It was empty. And she just looked at him. She's like, really?
Guys, come on.
She's working that hard. You got to make sure you give her a water bottle that's got some water in it.
Feeds Czinano inside. 12 points for Monika Czinano. 6 of 8 from the field. Thierry holds the follow through, but it won't drop in. Clark. Got it! Any shot, anytime, anywhere. Caitlin Clark.
Did we say logo 3, value city 3? Caitlin Clark eyes it, dots it, knocks it down. Al, you are 100% correct. Big buckets from Caitlin Clark, and it's as if she gets the basketball and comes down and says, I need a score right now, and just pulls the trigger and knocks it down.
But she also has 6 assists already.
Total all-around game.
I'm putting this on triple-double watch.
Watch it.
McMahon misses. Ohio State hasn't scored in almost 2.5 minutes.
And if Ohio State doesn't score, they can't get that press set up.
And we've seen Iowa push the basketball, too. They're running down the floor.
They're running off missed shots, any turnovers, any opportunity they have, Iowa's running.
Marshall's going to keep it. Molly Davis up at the top. Back to Marshall. 5 seconds. They're feeding Stuelke. The move by Hannah Stuelke, the Iowa Gatorade Player of the Year.
A freshman. Stuelke just has continued to evolve and gain more and more confidence throughout the season. Lisa Bluder said she doesn't believe Stuelke really understands how good she is.
And one coming for Taylor Theory. That ends a 3+ minute scoring drought for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, Theory has got to find a way to manufacture points for Ohio State, that time attacking the paint. I think Ohio State had been settling for 4 perimeter shots. Now looking to attack again against Iowa.
And even bigger, too, it takes Monica Czinano off the floor because that's her 2nd foul. Czinano already with 12 points.
So Ohio State, I think, better served right now to make Iowa play in the half court.
Theory getting her own rebound. Molly Davis coming out with it. Clark way up ahead to Stuelke. Running the floor.
Hannah Stuelke.
With Stuelke for Iowa, if Czinano gets into foul trouble, you got that freshman, number 45 in black, that has the ability to score in the half court and also run the floor in transition. You watch Stuelke rim run in the middle. How did Clark see that?
Traveling violation, though, on Molly Davis. But let's take you back to the last play with Stuelke's finish.
Always Caitlin Clark has her eyes up, and Stuelke is running the floor.
7 assists for Clark. And we talk about Hannah Stuelke being a true freshman. Look, she's from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. She had no choice but to be a Hawkeye because look at her as a little baby Hawkeye in her gear.
She knew her whole life she wanted to come and play at the University of Iowa. And with that gear set up, why not?
Iowa Hawkeye through and through in transition from Gabby Marshall. No. That'll be Ohio State ball, the foul on Stuelke. Well, Thursday night over on ESPN, College Game Day tips off our coverage from Thompson Bowling Arena at 7 Eastern. And then it is the rivalry that elevated women's basketball to the national stage in the 90s. Number 5 UConn takes on Tennessee on Rocky Top. Carolyn, I know you'll be there for College Game Day. How exciting.
Oh, it's going to be great. Rebecca, Drea Carter will be there on the desk. So we'll be breaking down Player of the Year candidates, teams that we may think have a shot at being in Dallas. We got a lot to chat about on Thursday.
I know this Ohio State team down by 6, but do you think they're a team that can make the Final Four?
I think they are, but they have got to be able to organize their offense. I think being a little more disciplined on when they're going to shoot it, and especially when you're playing a team like Iowa, they got shooters, bombers, so you've got to be efficient with your offense.
Kate Martin knocks down the 3. 5 for 12 from behind the arc are the Hawkeyes. Nikola Shakova. Oh, wide open Theory, and patiently waiting for the pocket to open up.
You gotta love a good shot
just sold it, patient, then gets the easy 2.
Martin this time won't go. It's going to stay with the Hawkeyes. Well, here's our Big Ten ACC Super Tuesday doubleheader. We start in Champaign with Terrence Shannon Jr. and Illinois hosting Bryce Sensabaugh and Ohio State at 7 Eastern. Then Armando Bacot, North Carolina against Syracuse. Both games on ESPN and the app. Sensabaugh was just named the Big Ten Freshman of the Week for the 4th time. He had a season-high 27 against Iowa. He's averaging the 2nd most points per game by freshmen on the men's side. The first would be Brandon Miller at Alabama.
And Brandon Miller is a show.
We saw him last week at Vanderbilt.
6'9", shoots the 3, athletic off the bounce, can block shots, rebound, he does it all.
Clark to Martin, it'll stay with Iowa. Iowa has outscored Ohio State 16-8 here in the 2nd quarter.
And I believe that Ohio State has not taken, I'd say, high percentage shots. They've taken quick shots. When they're patient, they can get the shots they want.
.16 seconds on the shot clock. Martin keeps it.
Look at Stokey last.
Theory bringing it down the floor. Right through the middle of the lane. Higher percentage shot.
That's a better percentage shot, attacking, getting downhill. But Ohio State also can go to Mikola Shakova on the block. She has a height advantage over the Hawkeyes.
Paint points are tied, each team with 22 points in the paint. Turnover by Clark. Into the hands of Bristow. Cody McMahon.
You see all 4 players who don't have the ball, they're all standing outside the perimeter. No cutting, no movement for Ohio State.
Stolke inside, working on Mikola Shakova. And good defense by Rebecca. Theory alone, no.
Now living and dying by the 3-point line. If it's not falling, look, penetrate, pitch, move the basketball and get good shots.
Iowa in a bit of a scoring drought now. Haven't scored in over 2 minutes. They've missed their last 4 shots. Clark with nobody to hand the ball to, and it's going to be a turnover. She was looking for Molly Davis on the cut.
The Hawkeyes, Gabby Marshall, A.J. Edgar.
A.J. Edgar checks in for Iowa, number 34 in black, along with Marshall.
Edgar's got to come in. And Zanano on the bench, have to give a break to Stokey.
Yeah, Zanano with 2 fouls. Seven seconds for McMahon. Getting her own rebound, trying the other side is short. Up ahead to Marshall, the feed from Caitlin Clark.
So tell you what Iowa's done, they switched up, went to the zone, really clogged up any paint action, and Ohio State has settled for perimeter shots or missed shots, and then Iowa's headed the other direction.
Caitlin Clark's got 8 assists.
Her court vision is fantastic, and I love the use of the bounce pass in transition. It gets below the defense. Your offensive player can get ahead and get the finish.
Ricky Harris, tough shot. Harris just 2 points, she's 1 for 6. Shot clock still on for Iowa.
Molly Davis going to run the point. When Clark starts without the ball, I got to believe it's coming back to her.
Ricky Harris knows it too. It's going to be a foul on Taylor Theory. Her second. Sonato checks back in with 2 fouls for Iowa. 12.2 seconds left here in the second quarter. Iowa has outscored Ohio State 18-10 in the second quarter. Clark comes to get it. Time winding down in the half. Sonato! Caitlin Clark knew she was going to be open, and Monica Sonato coming in after sitting with 2 fouls, and now she's got 14 points. Halftime here in Columbus, Iowa, on top of Ohio State, 43-34. Let's get you to Elle and Rebecca in the studio.
And finding shooters. Undefeated Ohio State may be in trouble.
What was happening with Ohio State's offense, because they didn't score for the last 3 minutes of the quarter.
Iowa switched to that zone and really clogged up the paint. And Ohio State wasn't able to finish the 3. Right away out of the locker room, what does Ohio State do but go inside in the paint?
It's going to be a foul on Molly Davis.
Cody McMahon attacks the basket to finish.
3-point play for McMahon.
I want to add an extra syllable.
I know, you're doing great.
Because she's an extra energy player.
Oh, absolutely she is. You know, she told us it was her middle school coach, Chris George. He was actually played football, but coached the middle school basketball team, and he's the one that instilled that intensity and toughness in her in middle school. Clark going to the free throw line. Clark's numbers, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists.
Triple-double watch, you called it.
Triple-double watch when she steps in the building, but yes. That's going to be the 3rd foul on Taylor Theory of Ohio State.
2 shots.
This third quarter is going to be important. We saw Ohio State right away go to attacking the paint. They were 0 for 6 from the 3-point line. They make that adjustment. If they're able to score, that will allow them to get their press set.
Yeah, in the first half, Ohio State shot 50% on 2s, 16% on 3s.
I believe Ohio State doesn't have to live and die by the 3-point line.
Theory bodying her way in for the 2 up off the window.
And I like the no call. Just contact. Both players have equal advantage. And then it's just a matter of whether you can finish or not.
10 points for Theory. She's 1 of 2 in double figures. McMahon is the other. And Caitlin Clark again to the free throw line.
Got to believe Ohio State discussed moving the basketball. You watch the ball go from McMahon to Harris to Theory.
First free throw that Caitlin Clark has missed today, now 4 of 5. Got the second. Now Ricky Harris is going to set things up for Ohio State. Thought about the 3, instead gives it up to Theory.
I was in a box and 1. Caitlin Clark is on Mikolashikova in the paint.
Sonato running the floor and being rewarded. She's got 16.
You see who Caitlin Clark is matched up with at the top. It's a triangle and 2 is what it is.
Theory trying to spin her way through it. She's going to go to the free throw line.
from the start of the game, I felt like Monica Zanano needed to run the floor in transition.
2 shots.
Keeps the pressure on that press, doesn't allow Ohio State to get set, get the easy 2.
Well, now they're going to have to sub out Zanano because she just picked up her 3rd foul.
Hannah Stuelke.
Hannah Stuelke comes back in. Now, she gave him some really good minutes in the first half, 6.7 rebounds.
I don't believe Lisa Bluter is worried when she has to go to that young freshman, because Stuelke has a presence inside and really can pick up the tempo and run the floor extremely well for the Hawkeyes.
What did Caitlin Clark tell us about Hannah Stuelke? In front of Hannah, she could be the best player ever at Iowa.
When Caitlin Clark tells you that, whoa! That's a great compliment.
Clark with a quick trigger, it bounces out. Cody McMahon to Theory. I think Ohio State talked about not shooting the quick 3 because I've seen them hesitate a couple times and look inside.
Well, they're trying to recognize where the openings are going to be because I was in this triangle in 2.
Clark with the steal. Caitlin Clark with the layup.
Goal by Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark talked about the maturity that this team has, the experience that's on the floor. Now, as a junior, she brings it.
Theory going up into the free throw line. Well, they're motivated. They were eliminated from the NCAA tournament earlier than expected last year.
And that focus, you know, they don't want that to happen again. They lost on their home floor, so they know every possession matters, whether it's offense or defense. You can't take a play off.
Sydney Fulcher.
Well, Fulcher's going to check in and replace Molly Davis, who just picked up her 2nd foul. Well, coming up at 9 Eastern over on ESPN, we'll take you to Waco for number 17 Baylor squaring off against Jalen Wilson and number 9 Kansas. Kansas trying to bounce back after another loss over the weekend. Caitlin Clark gets a 2.
Now, one of the things Ohio State was supposed to do against Iowa is go over the top of those ball screens. You can't go behind when you're guarding Caitlin Clark.
And Kevin McGuff told us that was going to be a change. They would go over the top on all of them.
He just had a conversation with his freshman. Cody McMahon went behind the screen on Caitlin Clark. If there's anybody in this arena you don't go under the screen on, it's number 22 in black, Clark.
Theory back at the free throw line. 15 points, 8 rebounds. This is the 2nd. Ohio State trailed for the 6th time this season at the half. Now they've come back to win all 5 of the previous games they've trailed at the half.
That's got to give you a lot of confidence in Ohio State, that you have it in you, but you've got to chip away at this lead by getting stops.
Marshall creating space for herself. She'll get it back, a 2nd chance for Iowa. And they finish. So Fulcher.
Sharing the basketball off an offensive rebound. That's just, that connectivity of the Hawkeyes is something that you're always going to see on a Lisa Bluter team.
Largest lead for Iowa. And that's going to be a turnover.
In the Buckeyes, Ebony Walker, Emma Shoemate.
Ebony Walker back in for the Buckeyes to relieve Nikola Shakova.
You know, Ohio State is missing J.C. Sheldon. That's the leader and brains on the floor that can really take charge and settle and calm a team through a storm.
She's still out with that foot injury. They do expect to get her back this season. Shot is off by Stolke, but the second chance goes for Sydney O'Fulter.
Stolke didn't make that first shot, but it was a beautiful pass from Caitlin Clark down the court.
And timeout called. Iowa on top of Ohio State in Columbus. It's We Back Pat Week. Such an important week as we honor Pat Summitt, her impact on women's basketball, her impact on women in general, especially in sports. And Carolyn, you had the privilege of coaching with her.
Pat Summitt gave me my first coaching job as an assistant restricted earnings coach, and learned from her the difference that she was willing and wanted to make in people's lives. And when she was diagnosed with early onset dementia, you know, instead of saying, woe is me, or feeling sorry for herself, she wanted to figure out a way where she could bring awareness, attention, raise money to hopefully find a cure.
It's so cool this week to always hear the great stories of Pat Summitt, how she impacted her players, the people around her, but also how that legacy lives on, not just on the basketball court, but with the research that the Pat Summitt Foundation is working on.
And it's not just the research, but they're also raising funds too to try to provide support and help for caregivers,
yeah,
which is extremely important.
There's that Ohio State press. We haven't seen it in a little while because the offense has struggled to score for the Buckeyes. But it worked with Ebony Walker. First points off of turnovers for Ohio State.
This press could ignite this crowd, could bring the energy for the Buckeyes to get them back in this game.
Now before that, Ohio State was on a 3.5-minute scoring drought. Shot clock winding down, 8 seconds for Clark. Czinano rolling. And she traveled. Couple of turnovers forced in a row by Ohio State. Here come the Buckeyes. Day will start this at 7. UConn and Tennessee. Carolyn, you got to coach in this rivalry. What was it like?
Well, Rebecca Lobo was playing for Connecticut,
yeah,
so there was
dangerous.
a lot of, yeah, and that was a back and forth battle, but it was so exciting to be in the arena and the excitement around women's basketball when those two teams meet.
College Game Day is going to be there. Tennessee will be the only school to have hosted football and men's and women's basketball College Game Day, because they're also going to host men's College Game Day on Saturday.
Knoxville must be the place to be.
Rocky Top.
That's going to be fun. I can't wait to get there. We're going on Wednesday and then have game day on Thursday.
And Tennessee was able to survive a close one yesterday at Missouri. Hopefully Jordan Horston will be back. She was out with an illness. Officials going over the monitor right now.
Sarah Puckett hit a big bucket.
I see what you did there.
Right.
Yeah. So they're taking a look at the shot clock. They've fixed it.
And we talked about it's going to be Elle, Rebecca, Drea. I'll be there. Holly Rowe will be there too.
Ho-Row in the house.
A full crew.
Elle. Taylor Meitzel with the floater. Ohio State's, they turn up the aggression, and now they can go in this press.
And they've really adjusted their press. Started with as a diamond, now it's a 2-2-1.
Clark double-teamed and trapped in the corner. Down just 17 seconds for the Hawkeyes to work with. That's a kick ball. Kicked by Emma Shoemate. Czinano back in the game, by the way, for Iowa. She does have 3 fouls.
But having Czinano and Stolke on the floor at the same time, why is that important? You got 2 strong rebounders on the floor for Iowa.
Iowa's going to inbound this again, 18 seconds on the shot clock.
And Ohio State not having Mikulasikova on the floor, that's the true size for the Buckeyes.
10 seconds. Kate Martin. Iowa's got to shoot, and Martin shot off balance. It'll be a shot clock violation. Buckeyes bring in the defense.
Where's the scoring going to come from? Iowa gap in the defense, in their zone.
Shoemate in the corner, rebound by Soltke. That's tipped off of Ebony Walker. You know, we asked Kevin McGuff about the Illinois game because they got down in that game. They trailed by 10 points at the half, able to come back and win. And we said, what changed? And he said, we stopped playing hard. We had to revamp our intensity. Well, we're seeing that right now from Ohio State.
The defense has got to go up another level if Ohio State wants to remain unbeaten. You got to bring some nasty, some tenacity inside.
That was Emma Shoemate with the block. Gabby Marshall can't finish. A scoring drought for over 3 minutes for Iowa. The dump off to Theory. Ohio State rocket. 6-0 run.
And freshman, you talk about turning things up. You watch her go snatch the rebound and then push in transition. She keeps the pressure on the defense until they commit. And then Taylor Theory using that old-fashioned shot fake. She used it earlier, gets Iowa in the air, then has a clear path.
Well, Taylor Theory, 4 fouls now. Takes a seat with 17 points, 8 rebounds. Kate Martin. Marshall flies in. No help around her, and Lisa Bluder's going to call a timeout. Kevin McGuff wanted a travel call. Buckeyes finding their rhythm, a perfect record on the line in Columbus. And this is one heck of a basketball game, and you just got to think that Pat Summitt would love to see the fight in both of these teams. It is We Back Pat, We and Pat Summitt bringing women's basketball to the national stage so that we can have games like this tonight on ESPN2.
I don't believe you could find a coach that has not been touched or impacted by either reading, knowing, or experiencing being around Pat Summitt.
Gabby Marshall whistled for the foul.
Iowa number 24, Gabby Marshall, her first, team foul number 5.
A 6-0 run for Ohio State and a 4-minute scoring drought for Iowa.
The defense is what changed. The intensity of Ohio State, adjusting the press, going from a diamond, or switching up from a diamond to that 2-2-1. And then whenever Caitlin Clark would get the basketball, sometimes you would see a trap, sometimes you would go over the screen. So mixing up the way that Ohio State is trying to defend Caitlin Clark. See, here comes a trap.
She gets it free to Davis. Gabby Marshall, kick to the corner, too much on the shot. Sonano tries to go up for the board, and Ricky Harris is there to tie it up. Possession arrow, though, still with the Hawkeyes.
The battle that Ohio State is bringing. They are getting on the glass. They're going after every 50-50 ball. See, right now, Iowa has owned the glass. They're plus 11 on Ohio State.
Buckeye ball.
This freshman, Cody McMahon, she's had the responsibility of keeping up with Caitlin Clark. She calls that turnover.
Now, she told us one of the best decisions was to leave high school early and join this team January of last year. It's helped her be able to step right into the starting lineup from day one this season.
I love her intensity. She is aware of what's going on, and she is a competitor.
That's the fourth on Czinano.
Not only is it important that that's the fourth foul on Czinano, but Ohio State is in the bonus. They're going to the free throw line, and Czinano's got to take a seat.
They have totally taken Monika Czinano out of the second half. She had 14 points in the first half, just 2 here in the second half because she's dealt with foul trouble, and now she may take a seat for a while with 4 fouls.
I got to believe she's going to stay on the bench for the rest of this third quarter. And then Lisa Bluder's got to make a decision. If Ohio State's making a run, do you keep her on the bench or do you bring her in?
Stolke in trouble. Harris is trying to hustle for it. Iowa ran out of time.
The defense in the backcourt. Shot clock, or the clock is running down. 10-second call in the backcourt. The defensive intensity picked up for Ohio State.
Cody McMahon, got it!
This freshman is special. Cody McMahon doesn't give up on the play. And the second jump, the second effort for the offensive rebound, and then the focus in the finish, and she gets to the free throw line.
I thought you were going to say this freshman is spicy.
I can say that too. That
She is.
Well, that's going to be for the fourth quarter.
Okay, gotcha. 16.7 rebounds, 3 assists for Cody McMahon. Stolke whistled for her second foul. Iowa had 6 turnovers in the first half. They have 6 turnovers here in the third quarter. And the scoring drought continues. Over 5 minutes without a bucket.
But it's going to be Caitlin Clark time. It has to be. They want to hold on to this lead.
Got a 4-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Taylor Mikesell with the ball.
We've seen the end of the quarter. Mikesell coming off a double screen for the pull-up 3.
She just lets it fly off the front of the iron. Possession arrow to the Buckeyes.
Taylor Mikesell, I like that shot. She has shown she can knock it down from the perimeter. There was enough time to get the offensive rebound. Now they get it underneath out of bounds.
Mikesell again, too much. And Iowa's not going to get that bucket off. It does not count. They'll take a look at it to make sure. But look at the Buckeyes go. A 10-0 run for Ohio State. And we got to see Angel Reese last week, ladies. She's impressive.
And some people complain about the passion that she has on the court. I love it.
I love it too.
She blocked the shot holding her shoe.
Yep, didn't need it. Look at the third quarter here. Ohio State ramping up the defense.
Ohio State has slowed down the manufacturing of three-point shots from Iowa. If you're not going to make threes, you can't let your opponent make threes.
Kate Martin will attempt it, but no. Ohio State ended the third quarter on a 10-0 run. They trailed by 9 at the half. Now, in the first half, we really didn't see them get to use the press because they weren't hitting shots.
They figured out Number one, don't just rely on your offense. If you're not making shots, it cannot affect your defense. What they did coming out of the locker room in the third quarter is they said, my defense is going to affect my offense in a positive way. They turned up that intensity defensively. That allowed them to score points.
It also helps, too, Monica Sonano for Iowa, who was at 14 points in the first half. She is on the bench with 4 fouls. Molly Davis. There's a 3 that Iowa had been missing. That's their 6th three-pointer tonight.
Cody McMahon was a big difference, too, for that in the third quarter for Ohio State.
And her stat line is impressive. There's McMahon making 18 points now, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and she's got a couple of steals. First foul on Emma Shumate. You know, Cody McMahon, we were talking to her after shoot-around today. She's got a fun personality. She told us, you know, I wanted to come in and make an impact, and I felt like graduating high school early was going to give me the best chance to do that. And her all-around game, man, it certainly has.
Look at Stuelke on the rebound. Just the second opportunities for Iowa.
Stuelke's got 10 rebounds, and there's going to be an armbar call on Ohio State. It's on Taylor Mikesell, her second.
Now, Iowa has 11 offensive rebounds.
The inbounds pass was tipped and then hit the back of the backboard. McMahon not letting Clark get open. She's open now. Caitlin Clark puts her over the 20 mark. She's got 22, 10 assists, and 6 rebounds.
It's Caitlin Clark time.
Oh, McMahon's shot rolls out. Possession arrow stays with the Buckeyes.
Cody McMahon had chased Caitlin Clark off the screen, but you cannot relax when you're guarding number 22 in black. If she's in the gym, she's open. You got to know what she had for breakfast.
Probably a piece of that birthday cake. Celebrated her 21st birthday yesterday, along with Carolyn.
We did. We are January 22nd twins.
Third foul on Molly Davis. And Cody McMahon at the line. First one goes. Well, the 10th and final SEC Big 12 Challenge is Saturday, 5 games on ESPN and the app. We start with Auburn, West Virginia in Morgantown at noon Eastern, followed by Alabama, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Baylor, Texas, and Tennessee. That's where College Game Day is going to be in Knoxville. We'll rematch there. Rick Barnes facing his old team. Kansas and Kentucky cap the night.
Now, Ohio State, they're getting to the free throw line, but they have already missed 6.
Running in transition, that helped Iowa so much in the first half.
That's what Hannah Stuelke can do so well. She's that rim runner. As soon as Iowa gets possession of the ball, they're headed out to the races. Get the easy 2.
Ohio State is going to call a timeout here. Buckeyes on the comeback, but still trail Iowa. Chris, thank you so much. Really cool. For the first time since 2003, American men have reached the quarterfinals in Melbourne. Also, Sebastian Korda, no pressure, but his dad won the 1998 Australian Open, so.
No, if you jinxed him.
No, it's definitely not me. That's definitely been said before.
Okay.
Hey, we've got a great ball game here in Columbus. This is such an important game when it comes to the Big Ten. This is the only time that Iowa and Ohio State are going to meet in the regular season. And Buckeyes making a push. Ricky Harris, bury it. Ohio State trailed by 9 at the half. They have not lost this season. Clark had to give herself some room, and man, she can just work.
You can put different size players on her. Taylor Theory with length there, put a hand up, didn't matter. Caitlin Clark able to knock it down.
Taylor Theory on the floor right now with 4 fouls.
Look, Molly Davis is on Rebecca Mikaloshikova. They're gonna let Harris, they're gonna leave other players open on the perimeter. Iowa's gonna dare Ohio State to make perimeter shots.
Ohio State only 3 of 18 from behind the arc tonight. Cody McMahon has been terrific. Turns into the double team, looking for some help, finds Harris.
You look at Davis. She only comes up to the shoulders of Mikaloshikova. See again, daring Ohio State to make those perimeter shots.
And now they missed 2 in a row.
And Iowa can just use the clock.
Ohio State outscored Iowa 20-13 in the 3rd quarter, but the Hawkeyes outscoring the Buckeyes here in the 4th, 10-6. 5 seconds for Clark. And it's a kick that resets the shot clock to 20.
Molly Davis down in the paint is matched up. Now look at Harris. She's wide open because everybody else is zoned up. But that's where I was protecting the paint and causing Ohio State to take those perimeter shots.
Offensive foul on Kate Martin.
Iowa foul number 20, Kate Martin, second, team foul number 2.
Theory in the paint. Oh, it bounces out. Got robbed on that shot.
It's a triangle and 2. Taylor Mikesell is the other player that Iowa's matched up with.
Second time we've seen Iowa use the triangle and 2, and Ricky Harris now has missed 3 straight threes. Czinano. You put her back in the game, you go to her. She's going to have to be careful, though, on the defensive end. She's got 4 fouls. And Cody McMahon knows it.
McMahon went right at Czinano. But the experience Clark and Czinano have on the floor, that composure of understanding when and where to put the basketball.
Thrown back into play. Still time. There it is. There's the connection. And Kevin McGuff is upset because watching it live, Caitlin Clark, it looked like she went over and then came back. Right at half court.
We got to look at that again. We have a chance. But from the inbound, though, Clark always knew where Czinano was.
Mikesell misses.
Look at the maturity on the Clark that Clark has with Lisa Bluder. Bluder calls a play, and then Caitlin Clark says, okay, I got you. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Let me just give it to Czinano. Look, they told us we don't even, it's not even really, sometimes it's just a look or a little head nod between Czinano and Clark.
They go through execution and shoot around, and it's one pass. Clark, Czinano. Okay, call it something different. It's the same outcome. Clark to Czinano.
Caitlin Clark told us, look, early on, I hit Monica a couple of times with the pass she wasn't ready for, and now she's ready every time.
She compliments her post players' hands, her ability to catch the ball, and she can put it just about anywhere.
She can shoot from just about anywhere, although that one is off.
All right, was Clark over and back? Let's see.
And watch at the top of your screen.
Did the ball, you have both feet and the ball, did all 3 get across?
Live, they said no. There was nothing called there. And it eventually led to an Iowa bucket. Mikulashikova was just whistled for her first foul. Iowa is at 6 of its last 8 shots. Martin by herself. Crushed it!
Turnovers.
Feeling it. Not that time. Caitlin Clark with the rebound. Can't finish the putback. McMahon stopped by Martin. And taken back. Ebony Walker. You think this game is a big deal?
Oh, let me tell you, with Ohio State being undefeated in the Big Ten, Iowa already has 1 loss. Yeah, would they want to put 1 in the L column of Ohio State? Absolutely.
Ohio State undefeated on the season, one of 3 teams in the nation. They've beaten 4 ranked opponents, but in trouble against a 5th. Overshot the pass, it's scooped up by Walker. Theory on the block to the free throw line. And that's the 4th on Molly Davis.
Taylor Theory and the shot fakes that she has used today have been so impressive, and more times than not when she's attacking, she's getting right there to the free throw line.
She's had double-figure points now in their last 4 games, 19 tonight for Taylor Theory. Make it 20. Mike still fouls Clark.
I was using different ways to break the press. At times they'll inbound it to Caitlin Clark, let her be the decision maker at the top of the press. At other times they put her on down the floor. It's like, do you want to take the ball out of the hands of Caitlin Clark, or do you want her to be the decision maker when she gets down in scoring territory?
Yeah, because it's either her scoring the bucket or she's facilitating her teammates, specifically Monica Sonano. They've combined for 15 points in the first quarter, 11 in the second, just 9 in the third quarter, and that's when Ohio State was able to make its run.
Now Iowa went to the triangle and 2. Just made it really difficult when Ohio State not knocking down 3s. That's a problem.
Caitlin Clark, a rebound away from a triple-double.
Timeout, Iowa, 30-second timeout.
Timeout taken. Caitlin Clark, 26 points, 15 assists, 9 rebounds.
We told you she is the total package. Distributing the basketball, she can score and attack in the basketball. She's got great court vision of knowing where, who, and when to get her teammates a little sugar, sharing it. Fantastic job tonight.
Now you see most career games with 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. She's in pretty good company with Sabrina Ionescu.
That is great company right there.
And look how much she surpassed her.
33. That's plus 16 if my math is right.
Great job.
I did not even use the calculator.
That was that Vanderbilt education.
Thank you very much.
Again, 1 rebound away for Caitlin Clark from what would be her 8th career triple-double. It's a 10-point lead for Iowa.
Iowa just gets it across in time.
When do you start fouling if you're Ohio State?
I would say you start now. You want to extend, but as well as Iowa shoots the ball, I would start bringing double teams, trying to get steals, and then go score quick.
That was Ebony Walker. McMahon, she never had possession. And it's going to be Iowa ball again. And Iowa State just has 1 timeout.
See, now I think you've got to. First thing you've got to do when they're inbounding is you've got to go for the steal.
So they're going to the monitor to check, to look at this. I believe they're looking at the clock.
Let's say Kevin McGuff doesn't mind. He wants every second possible. I think the clock's right.
Yeah, I do too.
Out of bounds. It was 107. But right now, Ohio State has Iowa in the bonus. They need to foul, I think, to start extending the lead. If they can't, now go for the steal. Try to get a 5-second call. And every play that you're making defensively, you're going to have to try to go get the ball, get the steal.
They originally called this Iowa ball. I think Cody McMahon, I think her fingertips were the last one to touch it.
I'll agree with you on that one.
Thank you.
Now, Iowa's got to make sure that they get the ball in, and then you got to protect the basketball. That's the most important thing. The worst case scenario, just get a 30-second or shot clock violation. But you just want to make sure that your passes, and one of the things that Lisa Bluder talked about in practice was shot fakes. They knew that Ohio State was going to go up the line and try to get as many deflections as possible. So use shot fakes to take care of the ball.
So they're still taking a look at this at the monitor. They can look at the clock. They can also look at the possession. Clock is showing 107, and the possession was originally ruled to Iowa.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Cody McMahon was the last right there. Yeah, the last to touch it.
And so it will be Iowa ball. Clock stays the same at 107.
Now, Iowa, they have 2 timeouts.
It's deflected in the hands of Mike Sum.
Timeout, Ohio State. Full timeout.
And Ohio State uses its final timeout.
And Kevin McGuff was quick to call that timeout, I think, to make sure that he has an opportunity to get his defense set.
It's interesting because if under a minute to go, you could use a timeout to advance the basketball. I know you can't right now, and obviously it's about to be Iowa ball, but...
Well, they were able to defensively get the steal with, 4 seconds ticked off the clock. So you want to make sure that he gets his defense set again instead of allowing Iowa to go down and score quickly. Just as strategic as you are with a press offense, Kevin McGuff will have a press defense if he's trying to maybe draw an offensive foul or make sure that you're going to make the long pass and gamble that they may throw the ball out of bounds, where Lisa Bluder has got to talk to her team about, listen, the most important thing is to get the ball in. You can get this thing under a minute, then she can advance the basketball. Doesn't need to be in a rush to get the ball down the floor. Most important thing is the inbounds pass.
And this Ohio State defense, 5th in the nation in turnovers forced per game. They forced Iowa into 17 turnovers tonight, and the Hawkeyes only average 13 a game.
I think this is too where Kevin McGuff really misses J.C. Sheldon, the brains on the court.
Baseball pass down the floor to Martin.
1 minute to play.
So now Ohio State has got to foul. 1 o'clock. If you want to extend the game, have as many possessions as possible, it's really late for Ricky Harris to commit the foul.
puts Caitlin Clark at the free throw line. 7 for 8 tonight from the charity stripe for Clark. Still looking for one more rebound for that triple-double as she hits the free throw.
You don't have many to choose from to foul if you're Ohio State with the free throw percentages Iowa has.
Mikesell has to get up the shot, quickly rolls out into the hands of Caitlin Clark. That is her rebound, that is her triple-double.
Got a foul. I don't care who has the basketball, the clock is ticking.
They finally do once the pass goes over to Martin. Caitlin Clark with a triple-double. It's her 8th career triple-double. 28 points, 10 rebounds, 15 assists.
She came in with a mission. They'd been on a really good streak before that Michigan State game. They faced adversity. They lost McKenna Warnock. It's her 8th triple-double.
3rd this season.
But against Michigan State, lost Warnock. Zanano got in foul trouble. They weren't making their threes, Iowa. It was a wake-up call.
Mikesell hits. And now Lisa Bluder is going to call timeout. And they will advance the ball.
Taylor Mikesell has the ability to knock down these shots off the screen. Quick, ready, knocks it down. So now Iowa will advance the ball. Again, I think that Ohio State needs to foul. Try to lengthen this game as much as possible.
And they have no timeouts remaining. Iowa with just 1 timeout.
Look, after watching that Vanderbilt-Arkansas game on the SEC Network, where Kayla Daniels hit that 3 with just basically a few seconds left, anything can happen. So don't go anywhere.
Clark gives it up. Iowa trying to burn as much clock as possible. Kate Martin is fouled.
Number 24, Taylor Mikesell.
Lisa,
Go ahead.
Lisa. You can't tell me to go ahead and then you
I'm sorry. Martin shoots 81%. You've got Caitlin Clark. She shoots 83% from the free throw line.
Trying to get Mikesell an open look again. You know, Lisa Bluder told her team after shoot-around, we have a chance to take down the #2 team on its home court. How fun would that be?
When you establish the belief in your players' minds that it can happen, and as excited as Iowa was, when they heard their coach say that they could knock off an undefeated team, you knew they were going to be focused when they came in here today.
Ricky Harris underneath. Iowa calls timeout, 7.8 seconds remaining. Caitlin Clark, look, when she's in the game, she usually has a big game, but a triple-double tonight, and you see her numbers against Ohio State. Now, this is an Iowa Hawkeye team that had lost its last 4 games against the Buckeyes.
But I think the contribution that Iowa was able to get from Kate Martin, and then you have Monica Zanano, who was able to bring 22 points, and that's after being on the bench for quite a while with those 4 fouls. The balanced attack and the maturity of Iowa has put them in the position they're in right now.
Ohio State had trouble scoring the basketball in the first half. It didn't allow them to get into their press that they're known for, and Iowa was able to run the floor. That really set the tone for the Hawkeyes early.
The defense and the switching up of the defense that Iowa had from going from their man to the 2-3 zone, box and 1, triangle and 2 really kept Ohio State off balance.
7.8 seconds. Iowa does advance the ball.
Now neither team have a timeout.
And Clark can just hold it. The Buckeyes busted on their home floor by the Iowa Hawkeyes.
It's a fantastic game plan not to allow Ohio State to get into a rhythm. They shut down the paint. They dared them to knock down perimeter shots and then headed fast the other direction with the Iowa Hawkeyes.
First win against a top 2 team since 1999-2000, and Caitlin Clark with a triple-double tonight. Her 8th career triple-double. Iowa victorious in Columbus.